So let's talk about retirement. At the time of recording this video, I'm 47 years old, and you may say, Marilyn, that's a ridiculous time to talk about living a retiree's life. I realize that it seems silly to talk about actually living a retiree's life at 47 years old. It's not ridiculous to talk about planning for it. It's not ridiculous to talk about scheduling financially to be able to retire at, let's say, 62, 65, 70. And then there are always conversations around, well, my father, worked until the day he died. My mother, held a job up until the last year of her life, up until she got sick, and that's what I'm trying to avoid. I'm not opposed to work. I love to work. I love to be doing things. I love to be productive. I love that when people think of me, they actually get nervous if I'm like holding still and not doing a whole lot. I love that. I love that I'm thought of as an energetic, energized, optimistic, cheerful person. Enthusiastic is a word that gets thrown around a lot about me, and I love that. But in that vein, I also want to be able to truly enjoy my life and my existence. So, I remember very long ago, a biblical story that I was studying or had come across in some lesson, and this is not a spiritual lesson, but this is what triggered this idea in my head. So I remember reading or studying about that people were living 800, 900 years, and that was their lifespan. That was how long they were walking the earth as humans. And then there's this passage that I can't quote. I can't tell you where it is, but I know I could find it if I needed it, that God decided that people were going to begin living to 120. And I got that idea in my head, like, this is amazing. I can live to 120. It says it right here. It says it in black and white. My body was built as a masterpiece to live to 120 years old. And if I don't live to 120 years old, it's not because I'm not capable of it, in theory. So a lot of the choices that I make, and a lot of the choices that I've been making for practically a lifetime, have been with this thought in mind. So at 47 years old, I'm not even halfway through my potential lifespan. And I can get into health span and all kinds of things, but that's not for the purpose of this message. So as I kind of started having that thought more and more about, I'm turning 45, I'm turning 46, I'm turning 47. People around me are starting to pass. People in my generation are starting to lose their lives for one reason or the other. And when that happens, I think it opens your eyes even more. And so I started saying, particularly true if I am going to live another 60 years, I most certainly don't want to just rinse and repeat the same day over and over and over again. And I also don't want to be a person who rinses and repeats the same day over and over again from 47 or 25 or whatever age until retirement age of 62, 65, 68, 70, 72, somewhere in there. Because at that point, what I see more often than not is once you finally officially retire, you don't have the life to go and do any of the things that you dreamt of doing. So many unfortunate souls retire and they're tired. They're broken. Their bodies are drained of all of their energy. And, you know, I see people retire, sit down on the recliner, and essentially never get up again for all intents and purposes. And that's not what I want. Now, we had a little joke in my family growing up that we didn't travel places, we just moved there. Because of the industry my father was in, because he was a jewelry executive through most of my formative years, and we were always moving. So I got really good at moving and at meeting new people. And I'm an only child, so I was always at the adult parties, and I was always at the dinners, and I was always at the galas. And so I got really good at always integrating with new people. So this is something that I love to do. But because of that, people ask me, oh, have you ever been to Tahoe? And I'm like, no, I've never lived there. And they're like, no, have you ever traveled there? I'm like, no, I haven't, because I've never lived there. So a few years ago, I started really calculating how frequently I see the most important people in my lives. And I don't mean like my love partner, I don't mean my children necessarily. I get to see them on a daily basis. But like the next level people, the best friends, the extended family, like these kinds of people. And I did a calculation of how many times I had seen them in the past 5 years. And then I thought, okay, if my lifespan is another 30, or if my healthy travel lifespan, let's say, is another 30, that would mean I would only see them X amount of times. And with my closest Wisconsin girlfriends that I have there, we have like a group of girlfriends, and it would mean I would only see them 5 more times in my life. And that hit hard. That was not okay. So from that moment on, I began prioritizing travel. And I prioritized specifically traveling to go see them or to bring them to me. But in one way or another, seeing them more frequently. And since then, I've been able to purposefully, instead of seeing them once every 5 years, which had become the average, I get to see them twice a year now. I have 10x'd the number of times in my lifetime I get to spend quality time with this special batch of girls. And this is what I'm talking about. This is what my retirement looks like. My retirement doesn't look like not doing anything. It doesn't look like not earning money. It doesn't look like not working. It looks like prioritizing the people, places, and things that mean the most to me. So I am 1 month away from being an empty nester. 1 month. And in doing that, it gives me a new version of freedom to truly take that focus to a new level, which is amazing. So again, working, I want to work. I love work. I love to do things. I love to earn money. I love to be productive. My kids always laugh that a good day for me is a day that I'm busy and productive, not just busy work and not just productive but exhausted. I'm busy and productive. This is my happy space. So I want to continue all that, but I'm still calling it retirement. It doesn't mean I'm not doing. It means I'm doing more intentionally. So one of the main factors of my retirement is that I want to do long-term travel, because I do not enjoy just traveling to a place, spending a weekend, spending a couple of quick days, and traveling back. You don't get a real sense for the people. You don't get a real sense for the community. You see the tourist highlights, but you don't get to dig into the depths of it like you do when you move to a new place, which I am very well versed in. So I essentially want to short-term live, which kind of sounds like a negative way to say it, or long-term travel all around the United States in particular. Because to me, you know, the United States is just a beautiful collection of things that I've never gotten to see, that I've never got to experience, people that I've never gotten to meet. So, you know, if I could spend time living at some point in my life in all 50 states, that would be amazing. But I don't have to live there for 5 years to get a sense of the place. I don't have to even, I don't even have to live there for 3 years. You can move into a new place with the intention of really learning everything there is to see and do, making amazing connections with people, inviting them into your life and you becoming a part of theirs, and enjoying all of this with intentionality. But it doesn't mean you have to make that your new permanent residence. And this is something that my life has taught me that's, I think, really unique to people. I enjoy home ownership. I enjoy having roots. I enjoy feeling rooted and grounded in a place. But I don't really need it. It doesn't give me a sense of security. I'm more rooted and grounded in the people and the community that I surround myself with. So in my retirement, what my retirement looks like is to move all over the country. As a Texas girl through and through, no matter where we moved off to, we kind of always ended up back in Texas, which is where I was born. But for me personally, I mean, it's 99 degrees as I sit here right now. It's warm here. I really like cold weather. I like shoveling snow. I like having to snow blow the driveway just to get out to go to work. I'm okay with all of these things. I like the extra 5 minutes it takes to put layers on in order to go outside. I'm all for it. Count me in. I've lived that life several times, and I love it. My ultimate, if I could do a bucket list item, is a full year of just chasing snow in the United States. And I know it's pretty darn possible. So my retirement may look different than yours. But one thing that I think that we can all agree on is retirement feels like freedom. It feels like you finally get to create the life that you've worked to create. My personal thing is I don't want to wait until I can't do anything with that life to start living it. I want to start living it right now. Now, my youngest daughter, who's about to go off to college, and I just did kind of a trial run of this. So we did, we took off for about a month with a very strict itinerary because I enjoy itineraries and planning and color coding, and these are my love languages. And we covered 13 states. This is truly travel. This was not long-term, like staying in one place and getting to know the community. But it was great. And it was an epic adventure, and it was proof that this is a step closer to how I want to feel. Day one, I immediately felt so much relief. The tension was gone. I was still doing, I was still earning, I was still being productive, and I was spending a lot of quality time with one of the most important humans in my world. So it was amazing. Everything about it was amazing. But it was a great way to trial run this idea of mine. I'm going to be doing some more trial runs here very soon. And those are going to be more like one region where I get to fully immerse myself and meet people and create routines and adventure and recreate and get immersed in the people of that community. So that's what my retirement looks like. And I'm there. And that's exciting. So you're going to be seeing a lot more of that kind of stuff here, because my goal is to be everyone's head cheerleader every day, all the time. My daily cheer videos that I've essentially been creating for a decade off and on are one of my favorite things to do every single day. They're one of my favorite things. I love doing that because I've always said that my ultimate job would just be to be your head cheerleader. Whether that means a wake-up call going, hey, you've got a big meeting today, but I know you're going to kill it. It's going to be, you're going to walk into that boardroom and you're going to know everything to say, and everything that you say is going to be received in exactly the way you mean it, whether you feel like you're saying the correct thing every moment of every day or not. Or it's a text like, hey, you seem a little down today. You seem a little flat. You seem like something's on your mind. I just want you to know that your soul is shining and you are so talented in this, and this. And I see you and I adore you, and I think that you are truly a magnificent human being and you have a lot to bring to this world. Marilyn. These are the things that I love to do, and these are the ways that I love to share. So the daily cheers are still continuing. The ways to continue to curate a life that you love are still continuing. But I just wanted to share my personal mission, the life that I'm curating for myself, and the life that I have felt pulled towards for decades and decades. I remember at 19 years old feeling this pull that I'm living out now, and that is so exciting. That was almost 30 years ago, and now I get to live it. The difference is, if I waited until a more suitable, socially acceptable retirement age, it would be another 20 years. And that's just not okay. That's just not okay with me at all. So I hope that someone can relate to this. I hope that whatever your life curation looks like, whatever your ideal retirement looks like, whatever your things that give your life joy are, that you find some peace and some purpose in your everyday. Because this life was not created as a gift to you to just kill yourself and not feel like you're getting anything in return, or to feel like every gratification in your world has to be delayed. Gratification doesn't have to be delayed for it to be worthwhile. And I think that's, in this last moment, I came up with that, and I think that's the truest statement I've ever come up with in my life. So that's my retirement journey. I'm very curious to hear about yours. And additionally, if you are also in the place where you are trying to curate a life that you love starting yesterday, get on a call with me. I would be honored to help talk you through and find what your path looks like. Your path doesn't have to look like mine. That's fine. This path isn't meant for everyone. But this path of wanting to help you find yours, that is fully adaptable to what you most desire and need. So, thank you so much for joining me today and every day. And I hope that you know that it truly is a great day to make it a great day.